Welcome to May We Recommend, a show where we talk about movies, music, and more. Joined with me is Sean and Otis. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Dude, lovely day. Lovely fall day.
It is lovely.
Yeah, we have had snow all day. And so it's been a lovely day in that magical way that snow falls down and then you do not want to drive.
That's every day for me.
Wait, Sean, are you getting a lot of snow nowadays too?
No, I just don't drive.
Oh. Okay. All the downsides, none of the up.
Yeah.
Sounds lovely.
That is a portrait of my life.
Oh, man. Well, it's bringing genius.
So today we are talking about Mandy. And
Yes.
this is Sean, this is your favorite film, one of them?
It's one of them. It's up there. I really enjoy it. Yeah.
It's up there.
Yeah.
All right. And Otis, this is your first time watching it, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay. So up top, let's just take and see what were your feelings about it, Otis?
You know, interesting ride.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the adventures you have in your youth. Like, they're largely uncomfortable, but in memory, they're pretty good, right? In memory, these things are fun and lovely.
That is a weird way to say you hate the movie.
Yeah, so I am curious as to where you're going with this.
There are parts of the movie that I hated, that I questioned whether or not I should continue watching it.
Oh,
And
wow.
Oh.
yeah. Like, and had it not been for our plan to discuss this film, if it were just me on my own, I would not have made it to the half an hour mark. I wouldn't.
Wow.
If I was in the theater by myself, nope. I would have got out and asked for a refund.
Really?
Half an hour mark. Okay, so
Okay, you got to go
let's-
into that. I want to know.
before you go into that, actually, I want to know. All right, so this movie centers around a logger named Red and his wife named Mandy. And as you come into it, they are just kind of laying about, enjoying each other's company since he's gotten back from his logging gig. She's seen by some religious cult weirdos, and they desire her, and they break into their house, and mayhem ensues from there. What point did you check out?
Honestly, it was the trek to the weirdos, to the religious zealots. Like, it was all
Atmosphere.
yeah, it was all atmosphere. I felt
Yeah.
like everything about that was designed to make me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, it does put you off a little bit. There's a romance there, but it's uneasy romance. Like when he's back and he's sitting at the fire smoking a cigarette, and you watch her walk up out of the water naked into the flames.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't look like a beauty shot. It's not meant to be like, oh man, he really loves her. There's something sinister going on there, and it is obviously setting up something.
But- But that's what I think makes it a beautiful love story, because she is ugly, right? So I'm like, this guy has to just love her.
I didn't think she was ugly.
Oh, she's hard to look at.
So I think as an actress, she's a perfectly lovely looking woman.
Oh, 100%.
She just has a scar on her face.
No, she shot, I think, in my opinion, in a very uncomfortable way. Even when she's like by herself, like in nature, there's something really, I think, off-putting about her looks, and I feel like it's intentional.
I definitely intentional. They do everything that they can
Yes,
to make her peculiar to look at.
that is a very nice way of putting it.
Huh.
I should have said that. She's peculiar looking.
She's peculiar looking.
in a very ugly way.
Yeah, and like in a non-appealing way for sure.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's something off-putting. Like there's zero warmth there.
So that's so I'm sorry, but it's really interesting because I think typically they would have done the opposite. And I think
I
it's
totally got to say, this is not a direction I thought this conversation was going to go.
okay.
To the looks of the character, I didn't really think about that playing into the film, that like she was shot to look homely for some reason. I didn't get that.
Maybe it's I don't maybe homely wasn't the intention, but she has an uninviting quality about her appearance, and the character is very sweet,
Mhm.
but there are shots at one point. It looked like her pupils are unevenly dilated.
Yeah.
There's a lot of intent there that's really interesting to me. Because typically in a film where I think they're kind of building romance,
Yeah.
people do everything in their power to make the characters look visually appealing. Typically, romantic leads, I think, are, they want the audience to kind of feel the way that
Yeah.
the characters feel.
Well, I mean,
Strange.
Nicolas Cage is pulling a face the entire time too, where he's not making himself look the most handsome. So I can see what you're saying. Maybe they're just trying to make them look more like average people rather than glam them up.
There's something beyond that with her, though.
See, and I would agree with Sean as well. Like, so they didn't film Cage in the most beautiful light. They didn't. And I do think that they were trying to push a different agenda with him. Like,
Sure.
but he was still the protagonist. Like, they still needed the audience to be on his side, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted us. They wanted him to resonate with us in a very vigilante sort of way. Right. And we did. And I did. And I learned to. Like, by the end of the movie, oh my gosh, was I rooting for Red. Like, I'm Team Red 100%. And yet, like, I don't understand the choice of portraying Mandy in such an unsettling way. Like she was the antagonist.
Yeah.
I did not pick up on this, and I'm not white knighting here. Like, it just was not my my takeaway of it. I mean, everything was made to make me feel uneasy in those scenes. You know, the whole movie is made to make you feel uneasy. I mean, hell, have you seen the Cheddar Goblin?
Yes.
I mean, it's this movie is like marijuana and LSD, you know.
See, okay, here's the thing. Is so much of this movie, especially on the back half of the movie. So after, like, it looked weird before and it sounded weird before, in a way that I was actually thinking that there might have been a parallel, that she was actually on LSD the whole time before the party came in, before the religious zealots were part of the narrative. Like, she could have been tripping out the whole time, which would kind of make sense because the theme of the filming and how the music played around her was all very unreal, man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a surreal aspect to the film. I mean, I think it has two sons.
Wait,
like,
really?
I don't think you're supposed to be like. This is like an alternate reality, I think.
Well, yeah, the way it's presented is honestly like with the title cards, it feels like it's going to be an odd comparison, but there's parts of it that feel like Lord of the Rings. So like the way it introduces what were they called, the Shadow Mountains,
Yeah.
with the title
Right.
cards. And another interesting thing is the title card for the film doesn't come in until about an hour and 15 minutes into the
Mhm.
movie. It's just interesting. But
I don't really see the parallels that much to Lord of the Rings, but
oh,
it
I
definitely.
guess what I meant to say is that they clearly establish, at least how I took it, is that this is um, a fantasy world.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
See, that was some of the issues that I had with the film. Is that I
Mhm.
wasn't sure. I didn't feel like they were upfront about the world that we were viewing from. Right?
Also,
Like I just thought that these shadow men inside the film, I didn't know which world we were living in. Like it looked and it felt like our world. It certainly didn't sound like our world, but like
Mhm.
what's I feel a little duped that I don't better understand those weird shadow men that were in there.
Oh, you're talking about the
um,
devil bikers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they explain them. You know,
yeah,
in the trailer with his friend there when he's getting his crossbow ready. They talk about, they were just bikers that, uh, you know, took a lot of LSD, got dosed with a bad batch, and now they're just in pain, but they love it. It's explained, but it's not explained. I mean, why do they come to the horn of Abraxas? Why is
well,
that a thing?
Right.
well,
Right.
I think that's really cool though, because you're you're taking something that is set up to be supernatural, right? And
Mhm.
it's kind of like underneath it all, they're just like junkies. They're like the monsters are just people, you know. There's
Yeah.
nothing really supernatural about them. They just come off as these like otherworldly beings.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, okay. And to a certain degree, I get that and I like that. But the main problem, and this is the big sticking point for me in the movie,
Uh-huh.
you know, ethically.
Uh-huh.
No, okay. So I can get it either being a like supernatural monster or a junkie. And I love the idea of telling it as a story that they're just junkies,
Mhm.
but with mythos on them. So that's very like real based. So that like I like that play. And I thought about the angle too, except so after he shot the first one,
Yeah.
fell off his bike. He runs it down in his
And he explodes.
and the either was it a Bronco or a Blazer, whatever it was.
Whatever it was. It looked like a
Whatever
blazer to me.
yeah, he hits that monster and the truck essentially explodes. Like
Yeah.
that is not a junkie. That is supernatural.
Well,
Well,
was it
it
his
can be both.
four-wheeler there too, though?
No, because he gets the four-wheeler later.
Okay.
No, I mean it was his bike. Like his bike might have been around there, but no.
What it looked like in the film, I'm backing Otis up on this one, is that the spiky Hellraiser guy
Yeah.
is shooting at Red,
Yeah.
and when the blazer hits him, it pretty much flips over and explodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like hitting Superman. Like you expect a truck
Yeah.
to hit Superman like that.
Sure.
But that's the thing. This movie's surreal.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It's not like grounded in reality at any point. I mean, like I think the atmosphere that you were picking up on earlier is gives you that pretty large hint early on. They're like, okay, everything has really weird colors. You're not quite on the earth that you know, I think.
I mean,
Oh.
it's like it sets it up where it's like what I can't remember exactly how the introduction card is set up, but it's like the Shadow Mountains, uh, 1983 AD. Like it's it's written kind of the way you would write fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And even the fantasy novel in the movie is a book that doesn't exist.
right. The book that she's
So
writing.
no, the one she's reading.
Like in the mart where the older of the ladies comes
Mhm.
in and patrons her for
I actually took
$5.
it that she was writing. Oh wait, no, that's not. I think she at one point she is writing, but yeah, it's not that book.
Yeah, no, that's like the Eye of the Serpent or something. I
Right.
can't remember offhand. The Serpent's Eye. You know, she reads aloud from it in one scene when she's on the bed, and I think her eyes aren't like oddly dilated. I think she has heterochromia. I think that's
Oh, really?
just yeah, I think so because I'm looking at the picture that I sent you guys, and one eye's brown and one eye's like blue.
I mean, I do kind of like that trait.
Yeah,
I do.
it's cool.
Okay, so there was definitely like they did a lot of pupil play in the movie though.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Like all that. And here's another thing. So if I'm going to take this movie as a whole, I'm going to say as a whole, I enjoyed it. And it's like if we're talking about as a movie experience, yeah, it was like it made me if the point of art is to make you feel, it made me feel a lot. So so in that way it was a very successful film. I don't always care for the way it did it controlled my feelings. But
Yeah,
one thing is
absolutely.
there was so much drug play in this film. Like you got like there's no way I would recommend kids watching this. There's
No,
way too much LSD in this flick.
Well, no, I don't think this is a movie for kids, but
no, it's
like,
R-rated.
yeah, I mean,
But-
if I'm recommending an R-rated movie, I'm recommending it for people of that audience.
See, except I would go even further on this one. Like I feel like the age cap should be like 30. Like after like
Really?
yeah, like after you've already done all the drugs you're going to do in this world, and after you've already kind of figured out who you were as a person, then it might be safe.
Yeah, I mean, I like you said earlier with the fact that this is a movie that made you feel things like an art piece. That's what this movie is. It's artistic. It's not just like a blockbuster film that is disposable like many of the movies today. Like this movie has a heart to it. It has it invokes something in there. You know, there's definitely emotions that you weren't expecting to feel in it, and there's an unease throughout the whole movie. And I think you're right about like the whole gatekeeping for people who have already done all the drugs, because that scene where he meets the chemist with the tiger
Mm-hmm.
is beautiful and one of my favorite scenes in a lot of cinema. But
Yeah.
I connected with it in a way that I probably shouldn't have. Like
Right.
I thought it was very interesting, and I keep saying surreal, but I can't think of a better word for it. Like it was impactful.
So
You know?
I think one of the strengths of the film is like it's bare bones plot, right? It's just a simple revenge story. But I think it does a lot with that, right? So he took something that's very simple, and then I mean, love it or hate it. What's his name? Panos Cosmatos. He has. I don't know if you guys have seen his first movie. It's called Beyond the Black Rainbow.
No,
But
I haven't.
He
I
has
have not
a
either.
very distinct visual style, right? And that just kind of shines through. And I guess one of the things that I appreciate about it is the guy's got a point of view visually, like I guess aesthetically, because the score really fits. One of my favorite things is it opens up with a fantastic King Crimson song.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
Wait, like the King Crimson song?
What do you mean the King? It's.
They're a
I mean,
band.
I think it's the only one in it, but
Yeah, yeah. The opening song in the movie is Starless by King Crimson.
mm.
Oh, oh, wait, never mind. Sorry, I think I was thinking of King Missile.
No, that would have been a very different movie.
See, I've never seen the movie, and I was envisioning what kind of movie would begin with detachable penis.
No, I'm talking about Mandy.
That would have set a whole weird tone. Like you're like, oh, I'm coming into this is going to be kind of a fun romp, and then you're like, why'd they trick me in the beginning?
Right.
Like, what was that about?
So this is all me being just mudding up the waters. That's all this is.
So I'm just
All right.
I'm a huge fan of King Crimson, and you rarely hear their music in film, and so that to me right
That's
away
true.
it's like set it kind of like that kind of set the mood of the film for me.
My dad's a huge fan of King Crimson. I never really got into him
Oh, I love
too
them.
much. They're kind of prog rocky for me.
They're very prog rock.
Yeah,
they're
and that's
fantastic.
not really my genre.
Well, I think it works for the film for sure. But
Okay.
I have no idea who these people are, so I've got nothing to comment on.
Yeah, no, let's circle back around to the film. All right, so you didn't like a lot of the aspects of the surrealism, the hyper reality, or the just straight up cartooniness of the bad guys, the antagonists.
Well, I don't mind cartoony bad guys. I don't. But I don't enjoy not knowing the lens to see a narrative through, I guess. Like I feel lied to a little bit when I feel like I'm told that these are the constraints of this world.
sure,
And then it shifts. It always feels a little deus ex machina to me.
like
Where you're like you're
it's,
expecting this, you're expecting this, you're expecting this, and then wait,
like
we're
it's
all
not
safe.
playing
Or
by its own rules.
right. So I always feel a little bit lied to. So there's certainly some aspects of that I feel in this piece, but it was devastating in other ways. Like there are a few scenes in movies that like stick out to me, and that just like with the level of anxiety like that just it shuts down my whole brain when I see certain types of anxieties.
Okay, yeah, this would be a very anxiety-inducing film for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like one of those scenes is like when he's slicing meat and The Wrestler, when Mickey Rourke is slicing meat. If you guys remember this scene at all,
Yeah,
devastating. And I saw another scene in Mandy last night that was as devastating to me as that scene.
And what's that?
And that was the one where the religious leader essentially made the woman play Russian roulette with herself to prove her love. That killed me. It was devastating. It shut me down emotionally.
Interesting. Well, when I watch this movie, it to me is like if you took Payback with Mel Gibson, mixed it with acid, and then made it more heartfelt. Like this movie has a definite heartwarming feeling to it to me. Like there is something, a beautiful romance story in here that like carries through the whole film, and it ends with it. And I won't get there quite yet because I don't think we're quite at the ending. But I think that it sets up this just, I don't know, kind of beautiful romantic revenge story.
So I kind of made light of it earlier, right? About Mandy being ugly, but like when how their love is portrayed feels genuine to me. I feel the same way. It feels like these two characters they're in their own world, right? Kind of living in the mountains, away from everything. It kind of gives you the idea that Red because he's obviously like a dry alcoholic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I
And they tell you that without telling you that. That's
yeah
beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so I got the impression that they've both gone through like previous trauma and they're kind of safe with each other, right? Living out in the middle of nowhere, they're each other's sanctuary, and the whole
Mm-hmm.
idea is that gets interrupted, right, in the worst possible way, and so nothing feels safe. It, in the film from that point on, it just feels like both these characters are kind of dragged through hell, and that's kind
Yeah.
of the feeling that I was left with.
So question on that point, and I would agree with you absolutely. But in that scenario, in this telling, in this hypothesis of the film,
Mm-hmm.
like what is benefited by having eerie music before the tragedy?
I think that it just sets you up for the, like I said in the beginning, it sets an atmospheric tone for the rest of the film. It gives you, when you're coming in, you know that this movie is going to be unsettling. It does
Yeah,
not give you that break beforehand. It says, I'm going to be an interesting film, and this is my tone. The lighting in the film, the lighting in the film, the music in the film, and the tone of the film are all connected.
But yeah, absolutely they are. But there's a way
I think
that
I
you
see what you're
could,
saying.
like, there's a way you can have it be interesting and comforting. Like there is a way to make that happen.
So
Absolutely.
are you saying that there isn't as big enough shift in tone? Like the tone should have been more inviting to begin with?
I do, and I don't
Right.
understand why so much work was put into making it uninviting.
Yeah.
I
I
don't.
I don't think it's not, I don't think it was rejecting so much as it was like unsettling. I did not feel like this movie was pushing me away so much as putting me off balance.
Oh, I full on felt the first half an hour it was pushing me away. It
Oh,
was
interesting.
daring me to not watch it.
So yeah, I didn't feel that way at all. Like the scene where she's kind of strolling through nature by herself. I thought that was very serene. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think that was kind of the
I
bubble
thought
of
it was
comfort.
kind of, I kind of thought it was nice that there was like this coziness to it
Yeah.
with the offset of, unsettling. It's very cozy. Like if you watch this movie maybe without the soundtrack, you watch it without the sound on for the first 30 minutes, maybe you you could get into it a little bit more.
So
You know,
that's interesting. Like the soundtrack didn't have that effect on me in the beginning. I thought it
Oh
was
yeah, I hated it. No, I didn't. I
I
I
guess the
didn't.
score, not the soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean whatever. I think those two things are wave back and forth. But no, I felt like it was actively like making me uncomfortable when I should be, because normally, like, we get sound cues as to
Mhm.
like which characters we need to pay attention to, like who is the red herring in a scenario, who might be the red herring in a scenario, like who's the villain, all these things. Like
I don't
there's
think
a
they give you sound clues for red herrings. Otherwise, that wouldn't be very good.
no, they
well,
do.
Like,
They
yeah.
absolutely do.
they tell you that this character is not one you should pay attention to.
By not, yeah, intentionally by not having a character that should, a character whose presence is enough to require a leitmotif to like
Mhm.
to be a moving part of the narrative. If they don't have one, that can be a telling sign
Well,
because they
but
Interesting.
specifically don't.
I think you just watch a lot of movies with musical stings in them.
yeah, I don't think it's necessarily like a rule that like has to be stuck to.
No, but I can
I
see
see what
that
you're
being
saying.
true.
I mean,
Yeah.
but it's like it's all part of the language of cinema now, right? It's like there's a language that we accept and that we understand. And
Mhm.
and I'm not saying that that's like the full picture, but like if you're going in expecting something, like, you're going in to watch a movie and there's something in Latin. Like, I
Yeah.
kind of want there to be like closed caption. I want to know what they're saying. I want there to be
Oh,
subtitles.
see, I am not. I like it better when, if it's, as long as it's not a long piece, but like when they speak in a native dialogue to those characters and
Mhm.
it's not subtitled, it puts me in the movie. I
Well,
don't know what they're saying.
I
The main character doesn't know what they're saying. So it's better when it's not subtitled if that's the entry.
well, I that depends on intent. I think that if you're like trying to like confuse your audience and make them feel that way, that makes sense. But
Mm.
also, I think that also depends on if what's happening is being properly uh, like demonstrated through other means. You know,
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I
like
don't know. I did not know that this was going to be so challenging to get through this movie. I thought we'd give a rundown of it and then, talk about how great the atmosphere was. The soundtrack to Mandy does give, each title is titled for like each person, I guess. There's
yeah,
Mandy's love theme. There's the Horns of Abraxas, the Black Skulls, which is the biker gang. Red gets his own little song,
Leitmotif.
leitmotif. I don't know if it's a leitmotif.
And is that not totally reminiscent of Vader's too? Like Vader's entrance, right?
Yeah, well, I think
With the
that's Red
breathing?
becoming Red before the very next song is Forging the Beast. Which, what'd you think of that scene?
the
Really
axe.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, oh
But
man.
that's another thing too that makes it feel fantasy. He's like crafting an otherworldly weapon. Like that's
Yeah.
Yeah. Put aside where you couldn't get into it. When did you get into it?
Honestly, so I became invested when what was the name of the church group?
The
uh,
children.
The
children of the New
Yeah.
Dawn.
Children of the New Dawn. Right. So when they came into the picture, when like the first scene, which was super unsettling, and
Okay.
I felt
So
like
at the turn.
yes, like that's honestly everything before that. It just felt like it was pointlessly made me uncomfortable.
Okay. All right. You know, now putting all that into perspective, I can see where you're coming from for sure. Like, it is uneasy and it's hard to get into. I can see that from your perspective.
Sure.
I didn't have the same experience with it, but you've turned me around. I can say, yeah, maybe it is pushing you out a little bit, but that turn to the revenge makes there's a whole other movie there,
Oh yes.
and it gets bananas.
And that was the movie that I wanted, right? Like that was the movie,
Well, you got it.
right? And it was great. Like that, yeah, if you cut the first part until the turn, if you cut
Mhm.
everything down in the turn to 10 minutes, love it.
I don't know if it would set up enough emotional connection between the two of them in
Yeah,
10 minutes. Maybe
like
you can, but
I think the movie what it does really well, right, is it shows the quiet moments that
Mhm.
people who are in love have.
Yeah, it's not the moments where they're like, dipping the cake on each other's nose at their wedding and they're laughing and running together. No, man, these are the moments where you're just kind of sitting with your wife and you're talking about something really macabre, like, I don't know, when your father made you kill starlings. And, like, there's that uncomfortable tenderness that comes from that.
Oh,
Well,
okay, sure. But Pixar did it in 4 minutes up.
4? I don't think that was 4.
That's like 10 minutes. But that's probably some of the strongest 10 minutes in film is the opening.
It
of Bug.
really is.
Yeah,
It
that's a
is
really unfair comparison.
amazing, right? It is
Yeah.
amazing.
It tells you everything you need to know. And it is full on show don't tell.
Oh, stunning.
Also, those are showing big life events that are like really easy to identify. What I like about Mandy is the soft quietness where
It's showing the little life events that
Right.
make up
right,
the totality of your relationship.
right. So you see this guy, he's uh, working a tough job. He's going back home. Guy offers him a drink. He just hard no, gets home to his wife and is just absolutely quietly in love with her. And I think Nicolas Cage, he's kind of a meme, right? And he's one of these actors who, under the right direction, he'll absolutely kill it. And
I thought that he was understated in this movie.
well, until he isn't, right?
Well, yeah, but it makes sense for the role,
Right.
I guess.
It's great.
Like his over the top is perfect for the piece.
Well, yeah,
But like he's playing real quiet and perfect the whole 30 minutes of the hated beginning, and then he becomes unhinged. And well, who does it better than Nicolas Cage?
right. But
Oh, that bathroom scene when he
Yeah.
was showering, that was just a lovely, lovely scene.
right.
Oh, it was very nice.
But-
I really liked how like he went and got the bottle from the drawer beneath the towels, and you knew then you're like, oh, he quit drinking,
Right.
Right.
and now he's fallen off the wagon, and of course he's putting his antiseptic on his wounds is at the same time as getting intoxicated.
Yeah, but did you? Oh, it hurt me just to watch him slug back. Because man, like, granted, he dumped some on his wrists and his ribs.
Oh, he did half a fifth.
Oh yeah. Oh, that just made me. It made me throat hurt.
Yeah. And I feel
I
like
know that roller coaster feeling when it hits your belly when you've drank that much hard alcohol.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it made me wonder if Cage actually did it.
I feel like the movie would lose something if you trimmed down that beginning. I really do.
And you could be right. But what I don't understand still, and I know that we've already covered this, but if they wanted me to recognize the emotional connection that was happening between Red and Mandy, why make me feel so uneasy about it? Right?
Because something's going to happen. This is not
I think
that love story. It's a different love story.
Yeah, I think Otis is just saying that there wasn't a big enough contrast. And I could be wrong about what
Sure.
you're
I
saying.
mean, maybe they should have done happier music with them getting ice cream, but I just don't feel that that's the movie.
No, I totally agree with you. I think that there's so many movies that do that setup, right? Every
Sure.
revenge movie where a guy loses his wife is that.
Like, look at like The Punisher, right? They're out having a picnic and everybody's laughing and having a good time, and it's so scenic. Like, it's trope to death. You don't get like weird staring at your wife while smoking a cigarette scenes.
Except, like, no, you don't. And you can have those scenes. Like, I have no problem with telling the story of an alcoholic who's dry with his wife. And there's a very real chance that, like, some of her scars came from him, right? There's a chance
I
of
don't
that.
think so. I think no, because like her scar was, you get a flashback to when they made in the car,
Uh-huh.
and she had the scar. I don't think Red abused her. I think she came from an abusive past, and he and her found each other.
Yeah, I think they're both hiding from something. I think he's hiding from his substance abuse, and she's hiding from, looks like probably abuse from a father or former lover.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. I mean, but so they both have history, you betcha. Like I have no problem with that story. That story is great. But the reason that I appreciate that story is because it means that two people with damaged past can find peace together.
Mhm.
Like that's what I love about those stories.
Yeah, that's what I think it's telling. Yeah.
Right.
Except it's why display them as not having peace at all.
I guess that's where I disagree.
I like the fact you didn't like this movie.
Yeah, that's what I like
No,
about.
I mean,
It's opening up an avenue of discussion that we didn't have in our first podcast. Both Sean and I were like, "Yep, the thing's really great. Yep, I like
Well,
it too."
yeah, so that's actually a problem that we brought up because it's like, what can you say about the thing that hasn't been said 1,000 times before?
Yeah.
sure. Absolutely, yeah.
And I don't think that this movie is for everyone. And I said that going into it. I said that Otis isn't going to like this movie.
You did, yeah.
Well, yeah.
And you took that challenge.
Except so on a whole, I recommend this movie.
Oh,
It's worth watching, but there are parts that I hated. And then there are parts that really, really worked for me.
mm-hmm.
So, like, on a whole, like, on average, yeah, dude, I recommend this flick.
I do too. I know that like it's probably bigger recommendation coming from you given the past conversation we just had. But I felt that this movie has something that I would recommend to somebody, even if I know like you're probably not going to like this movie, but it's worth the watch. I think it's fun and weird, and it makes you feel strange.
Sure does.
And in a way that I like. It's not like Gummo or Kids where I just feel really gross afterwards. It's in a way that like I feel like I went through something. I feel like this is therapy. Like this movie for me is cathartic. Like something changes in me for the better having watched this. After I've watched this, I feel like something has released. The acting that Nicolas Cage did when he was acting hurt, when he was tied up, like I felt real emotion, like real acting from Nicolas Cage in this scene. Like the best I think I've ever seen him do.
It was solid. It was good work. I had no problem with it.
I think he's a top class actor, honestly. I think
he's a fine actor. No, I mean like I've liked a lot of his movies, but I think that this is the best acting I've seen him do, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it's a great performance too.
I liked some of the color choices in the Revenge movie.
Yeah.
But some of them I thought were just a little over the top. Did you guys have an issue with any of that?
No, not at all.
No, I enjoyed it. I overall, my rating on this movie as far as performance and atmosphere, cinematography, direction is this movie to me is like an 8 out of 10. Like it is very high up there for me.
I don't know. I haven't even given it a star count yet. I mean, definitely 4 stars, so that would track.
4 stars.
Hey, you guys, we should all have our own rating system.
That would be great.
I like that. What I liked is I said 8 out of 10, and you said 4 stars.
Yeah, exactly.
Out of infinite.
I mean, traditionally it's 5, but I'm really hoping Sean does his in
I give
bananas.
it a Q.
A Q. Love it. So, question to you fellas. Jeremiah.
Yeah.
His was an interesting story, right?
I mean, yeah, like he's pretty much any like Charlie Manson, Jim Jones kind of character.
Total like narcissist.
Yeah, maybe even David Koresh ish.
Sure. Is that so? And there, I'm sure you are way more versed in cultism than I am, for sure. But is that normally the personal philosophy that cult leaders run? That they're like that they were granted all pleasures and necessities and all their dreams by God?
Oh, I
Yeah,
think a lot of
generally.
them, yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
most of them come that way. So it starts off real small, and then so a practice of getting you in the cult is love bombing, right? Oh, you're so wonderful, you're so great, and everybody loves you, right? And then God speaks to me, and he tells me that we should probably stop doing X,
Yeah,
and you
you're a
should probably
vessel.
stop talking with your parents or other people who are suppressive to you, or judge what you're doing. You should probably cut them out of your life. And once they've isolated you from the outside world,
Mm-hmm.
that's when they start doing even more controlling things.
Mm.
Then they're telling you, well, I should tell you who you're married to or whom you're having sex with. And so that's when they start controlling your body. And then they take all the pleasure for themselves,
Yeah.
like you shouldn't have sex with him, you should have sex with me. I'm the leader and I have a divine right to pass on to you.
Yeah.
And that happens over and over and over again through all sorts of cults.
I think that's one of the
So-
main reasons they started the cult, right?
Well, I don't think initially, a lot of them, I don't think so. I think that it's the power that corrupts,
So
except for Charlie Manson.
I feel like there's a whole bunch there that we could talk about. But what I love, right, totally. What I love about the film is that Jeremiah in this one, like, you see his philosophy waver, right?
Yeah.
Like when he is laughed at by Mandy, like
Oh, right. Yeah.
like that scene with him in the mirror, like that tells
Even
an
before
interesting little
that,
story.
she walks in and he says, "Do you recognize me?" Expecting her to say that he's Jesus or whatever, right?
Right.
No,
And
from
then
the
she's
car,
like,
I thought.
"I see." No, I think that he is posing Christ-like. And he goes, "Do you recognize me?" And she says, "The Reaper's getting closer." He goes, "Well, in time you'll know, you'll learn to recognize who I am."
Gotcha.
And so I expected at that moment for her to be so messed up, he's in robes, posing like Christ, to be like, "Yeah, you're the second coming of Christ," or whatever.
Well,
And she
yeah.
doesn't go that route.
And they dosed her prior to that so she'd be more susceptible.
Mm-hmm. And stung her with some sort of weird bug.
Yeah. Cherry on top, right? That weird wasp.
So we were talking, boy howdy, I did like the play of Jeremiah in that one. Like,
Say again?
I did like the play of like the emotional play of the cult leader in that one. I thought was an interesting story to tell.
Oh yeah, his petulance led to her death.
Right.
Yeah,
And that was
he could not handle a challenge to his ego.
right.
Yeah.
That is stunning. And then again at the turn when Red finally got his, like that was another interesting, which I kind of didn't see it going, but I loved it when the co-leader offered fellatio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic moment.
Oh, that
It
was
is-
just like, that was
and then-
full triumph.
He realized how broken he was. And
Right.
he's like, no, you kneel before me. And he's on his knees. Like, I love that so much. It's such a visceral scene. It is so gross, but so rewarding at the same time.
Oh, very gruesome, but yeah, the emotional payoff is astounding.
Mhm. It is. His fight through. Now, we skipped over one of my favorite things, and in any movie, and I brought this up with my kids, is I love a chainsaw fight. I
Yeah.
do. A
It's the biggest
chainsaw fight.
chainsaw.
It's just the best. And my son says, "Well, how many have you seen?" I'm like, "A few." Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 has a chainsaw fight in it.
Has there ever
Anything
been a
with
bigger
Evil Dead?
chainsaw than in Mandy, though? That's the biggest
No, I've never
chainsaw
seen
I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's a real big bar. Okay,
And I love the
although
reveal of it too.
oh,
Yeah.
for sure. That part was great. Except even at that point, like that was so superfluous. Right? Like why have a chainsaw fight? Other than, hey guys, I really want to put a chainsaw fight in.
I mean, it's fucking cool. Excuse me. Sorry about the
It's
language.
okay. I've just been putting explicit filters on here lately.
I mean,
I don't know.
I feel like it should better pair up with the PG rating of the film we're reviewing, honestly.
So one thing I noticed is the references to heavy metal in the film, like the opening text in the film is I think it's lyrics, right?
Oh,
and
right,
forgive
right,
me
right, right.
because I
And
don't
then the cartoon.
the cartoon, but then even the title card is written in death metal
In death
font.
metal font, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
but,
and all our
okay.
t-shirts are death or metal t-shirts.
Yeah,
Jonathan.
they definitely are. They're pretty rad. Although, so like, but he dropped his legendary hand forged axe to pick up a non-functional chainsaw.
Okay, here's the thing.
Okay.
Is I really think that the chainsaw fight is an homage to other movies.
Okay.
Like,
And
that
he's
is
a
just
logger.
badass.
He's a logger. He's
Yeah,
like, this is
he's a
my
logger.
wheelhouse.
I mean, an axe would suffice for a logger too, but he's a
Right.
modern logger.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
as an homage to other works, like I appreciate that. And I appreciate it, but I do wish that they would have found a better reason for him to pick up the chainsaw than, hey dude, I'm going to pick up this chainsaw.
No, I'm telling you, like, again, I love a chainsaw fight.
Yeah,
I don't care what the impetus is. If you come into it and, like, even in Tucker and Dale versus Evil, there's a chainsaw fight in that. And that's what spawned the conversation with my son in the first place.
Okay.
Because that's when I was like, I love a chainsaw fight. I do. Like, just anytime that there's a chainsaw being wielded towards someone, like, that is so ineffective. It is a terrible weapon.
Yeah.
Damn if it isn't cool.
Awful.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's metal as hell. Yeah.
Well, except nothing is more metal than a pure steel axe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's as metal as it gets.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I
Like-
think that axe is actually forged in the image of a logo for a metal band.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just rad. Oh my! I'm not a metal man, so I don't know any of this. But that's amazing. Like, I love the crud out of that.
The band isn't called Celtic Frost.
The band is
And it-
called Celtic Frost.
Celtic Frost, and it's the F in the band's name.
Oh, rad. I might listen to that on the way to work later.
I've never listened to them. I cannot make a recommendation for Celtic Frost, although they sound pretty great.
Right? I mean, I have a lot of people who I care for who care for metal. Right? So I feel like I should try harder than I do.
Well, I think that we've hit our time, and no better way to go out than to say the ending of Mandy was beautiful. When he's driving off in the car, covered in blood, looking at the passenger seat, he gets a little flashback and has the most wonderful smile on his face. That's how I want to leave this podcast recording, with the maniac grin of Nicolas Cage.
Yep. Absolutely.
And next week we're going to be doing Better Off Dead. And until then, see you later. Bye.
Bye.